Estate Entrepreneurs Podcast.
Welcome to the Real Estate Entrepreneurs Podcast. Today, we have a multifamily investor that has actually started a solar solution for multifamily operators. So welcome to the Real Estate Entrepreneurs Podcast, Owens.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Where are you from originally?
I'm from Connecticut, but I live in Park City, Utah right now.
Park City, Utah. Can you tell me about your upbringings? Like, you grew up in a rich family, poor family, middle class. How did that look like?
I mean, I grew up in a pretty wealthy town in Connecticut. We were middle class. I was comfortable. We never had to worry about like housing or food. Sometimes in high school, there was certain clothes that I wanted that we couldn't afford. I wish I had a better first car, but I got a car. So it was a pretty good upbringing.
Good deal. What did your parents do for a living?
They're both writers, which is interesting because I am terrible at writing. I'm more of a numbers guy.
Writers,
yeah. They met because they were both reporters for the Hartford Courant, which is like the country's longest running newspaper.
Okay.
And they did not pass the writing genes down to me.
So they were working for the newspaper.
Yeah, they're reporters.
What about like radio, TV, that kind of stuff? Like,
no radio, TV. It was, like reporting, old school reporting. You get a lead on a story, you got to go interview the people to get the facts, and then you write a story, and hopefully your editor or publisher decides to run it the next day.
Yeah, that's the reason I asked, because I know nothing about that world. And when you hear somebody that somebody's a writer, you're like, okay, how do they even make money there? I
think it's a lot harder now. I think it used to be a pretty good job, but I think now, just with all the online publications and just kind of competition for eyes in terms of where people are getting their news from, I think it's a lot harder.
Yeah, and not only that, you got now anybody can be pretty much a content creator. Let's not call them writers, because there's, of course, a writer follows a certain guideline, and the way they write things is got to be scripted a certain way. And but technology and the world has evolved so much that I guess in today's environment, that technicality, I don't know how it applies. Maybe it applies to writing scripts or movies or copy or things of that nature. But it's I don't even. Do you even go to school to become a writer? Is that like a you get a bachelor's degree for that? Or
I think you used to be able to get a degree in journalism. I don't know if that's a thing anymore, but I think you could back in the day.
I think there is still a degree for that. I don't know. We'll have to find out. That's a great thing to find out. Is like, is there a degree for journalism? And then the other thing is, like, who do you believe in the news, right? Because
it's impossible.
It's how do you fact check those things? Like,
so again, like back in the day, I feel like we're in a different time now, but I feel like back in the day, you'd lose your job if you published something that was factually inaccurate.
Correct.
Like credibility was everything.
Right.
That is not the world we're living in anymore. Now we live in a world where people are motivated to get clicks on articles. And oftentimes I feel like the more inaccurate they are, the more eyeballs you get, because the crazier the stories can be. And there's no repercussions for putting out things that are inaccurate.
Now, did you graduate high school in Connecticut or somewhere else?
No, yeah, I graduated high school in Connecticut. I played soccer at college in Boston, and then I went to grad school at UC Santa Barbara.
Okay. What do you go to school for, like, afterwards?
So I got a bachelor's degree in finance and economics in college. And then I spent a couple of years working in the finance industry. Then I got a graduate degree in environmental science and management. And that kind of launched me into this career as a corporate energy manager.
Okay. And how do you actually find real estate? Like, how do you get interested in real estate? Because I mean, finance in the corporate world, you can get good jobs that pay very good money and make, some people make millions like that, right?
Yeah.
What got your interest in um being an educated person? And now, were you in the corporate America for a while before you went somewhere else, or how long were you in
Yeah,
corporate America?
I was in corporate America for probably 2 years, maybe 3 years in between college and grad school. And then I was in corporate America again for about 3 or 4 years before I quit that and kind of went on the entrepreneurial journey.
Okay, so you did about 6 years worth of
I did my
um
time.
yeah, you did your time, man. I mean, everybody's timing is different, right? So um you might have been an entrepreneur way before that, because usually I've been an entrepreneur since I was a kid that I can remember, but I also did my time. And in my case, they had to fire me after like 12 or 13 years for me to say, I'm going to go full time as an entrepreneur. And then I was like, why didn't I do this before? So,
Yeah.
um, but going back to your journey, you did roughly 6 years of corporate, and then you started venturing on your own business. Now, at what point did you get into real estate?
It was when I sold my first company, because that was the first time in my life where I feel like I had the money to get into real estate. I mean, real
Okay,
estate to me, right? There's two ways in. There's like sweat equity. You flip houses yourself. Maybe you don't need
right,
as much money because you're doing the work.
right,
Um, I didn't want to do that. So I felt like I needed the capital to get my foot in the door. And so I sold a company in 2018, had some money, and started dabbling in single family rentals and multifamily syndications.
okay. And that's abnormal to be on those two lanes, because usually the syndicators are like, ooh, we don't like single family, and then the single family guys are like, I don't know about the multifamily side, right? Like, why did you decide to like stay in those two lanes?
Well, I think one, if you want to get into multifamily and you don't have, uh, and you're capital constrained, you have to go the syndication route.
Right,
So I was really drawn to the advantages of multifamily, the scale that you get when you buy whatever, 100 or more units.
right.
The single family, though, I feel like it's more of sort of the lone wolf strategy. Like you do the research, you can take down a single family home, you could do it on yourself. And honestly, I've had way more success in single family than I have in multifamily.
Really?
Way more. I think
Why is
it's
that? What do you
due to
think is
market
that?
timing. Well, I think a lot of people that were playing the multifamily game in 2017 to 2021, if you didn't get out in time, your investments aren't doing so hot.
Yeah, and a lot of those loans are coming due now, and that's why
Yeah.
some of these operators are losing, their units. Um, but you're still involved in multifamily, correct?
I don't buy anything anymore. Now I just help people make their properties more valuable.
Got it. Understand. But you still own and operate some units.
Yeah, yeah. We
And
still have a portfolio of about 650 units.
okay, and the on the single family, what are you doing? Is it rentals? Do you go for the flips? What's your strategy?
No, yeah, it's rentals. I mean, I guess it's more of well, yeah, I mean, I don't have very many of them, just a couple rentals, but I think again, it was more of timing than anything. Like we got in the first single family home I bought was 2015. I think it was 2015, maybe 2016. And the value basically doubled in 2 years. Like I didn't do anything to deserve that level of financial reward other than just get in at the right time.
What state was this at in?
San Diego, California.
Okay. And were you living there back then, or was just something that came across
Oh
and
yeah, I was living there. So I wanted to get involved with multifamily in San Diego. Incredibly hard place to break into the market.
yeah, they
Prices are
sold
just like,
millions.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
insane. So I was doing multifamily stuff in the Midwest, and then I was doing single family stuff in San Diego. And Wish I did more single family stuff in San Diego.
Well, if you were holding it, right? So, um, now your first property, like investment property, was it a multifamily or a single family home?
It was my first property as an LP was a multifamily property in
Okay.
Texas. And
Okay.
then my first property as a GP was a 64 unit in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Got it. So you bought multifamily before you actually bought single family.
Yep.
And what drew you to single family? Like most, because it's hard to see a multifamily operator go back, right? To like, because the scalability is not there for single family. I only know one guy that does both, and he does very well. You may know him. His name is Bill Allen.
No, I don't
Um,
know.
well, he's
I
got
mean,
the
yeah, I was never operating at a crazy scale. So I think, real estate, part of the fun of real estate or business in any regard, I think, is seeing what you build.
right.
And if you're investing in multifamily properties in Texas from San Diego, you don't see what you build very often. You don't see the renovations, interior, exterior. You don't see the property, improve and get more valuable. You look at it through a spreadsheet remotely, which is cool, but it's not that exciting. Part of the reason I wanted to do single family stuff in San Diego is because it was in my backyard. I could go visit the property. I
You
could
can
look
touch
at
it.
it. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you don't have the scalability, but there's other benefits to it. There's other benefits to it kind of investing in the market that you live in.
Good deal. So, um, how did you manage? How do you vet those crews, right? That were doing renovations at a distance. Like, what was your process like?
Well, so I was not necessarily running the day-to-day operations of our syndications. What I did is my first investment as an LP was a master meter deal in Texas. And I noticed right away that the multifamily world doesn't know anything about energy. They
Okay.
generally look at it as like an operating expense on their T12. They grow it at 3% a year in their pro formas, and they don't really try to do anything to decrease it or eliminate it. And I had just come from, you know, 5 or 6 years of creating value by eliminating electricity costs. And I thought it would be so interesting. What I thought was I heard the same story from every multifamily operator, which is we're going to renovate half the units. We're going to either do it at turnover or we're going to kick out tenants. We're going to renovate these units. We're going to bump rents. And I get it. That adds value. But I was like, man, at the same time, you could just add solar and you could eliminate $75,000 in electricity costs and then put a 5 cap on that. And what does that do to the value? Like, it's so much easier to do that than renovate units. And so I partnered with operators so that they could manage sort of the day-to-day of the real estate side. And myself and my teammates could really focus on the solar deployment. And the two together created higher returns than either of them alone.
So what about the apartments that where the tenants pay for their own electricity? Like how does that help them? Like how do you handle that?
Well,
Because I
so
understand if I'm taking care of the electricity, I get it. Yeah, I save money right away on the NOI. But if the tenant is actually paying for the electricity, how does that get passed down to the tenant?
we didn't have an answer for that until 2023. And the answer was we had to build a software program, because what you're getting at is what's called the split incentive problem in the industry. And the split incentive problem is that the solar company, expects you, the property owner, to pay for solar, and it's going to benefit the tenants. And nobody's going to do that because there's no value to you. And so we had to build a software program so that in individually metered properties where each tenant has their own electricity meter, we can install a small solar system into their apartment unit, into their electric meter. And we have software to understand how much electricity is going into that unit. And now we can charge those tenants for that electricity. So yeah, you have a 200 unit apartment building. you have 200 small solar systems, each one going into the tenant meters that are decreasing how much they pay in electricity. But then the owner of the building is charging them for the electricity that the solar system just saved. But you really need software to do all that, because otherwise it's really time consuming and tedious. So it took us a couple of years to realize what the problems were in the industry and why nobody was adopting it. But now that we have this software, it's helping a lot of multifamily owners out.
So it's kind of like creating another revenue stream for them.
Entirely new. It's a new way to look at your roof.
Right. And can you talk to us like about a case study that you've done with maybe some buildings? Like, what did that look like?
Yeah, so we've installed solar all over the country on multifamily. I think the real estate industry tends to be a numbers driven one, which I can appreciate. Like, there's no, it either makes sense or it doesn't make sense.
Right.
Usually, our projects cost $6,000 per unit is the cost of a solar system per apartment unit.
Okay.
For the time being, they're eligible for a tax credit. Most apartment owners do not owe federal taxes, so tax credits are worthless, more or less.
Yeah, irrelevant to them.
Yeah. But you can sell these tax credits for cash, similar to LIHTC tax credits.
Right.
So after you sell the tax credit for cash, the net cost of the solar project is about $4,000 per unit. And they generate about $650 per year in NOI. So I'm a little out of touch in terms of what cap rates are now, but usually when you put a cap rate on that solar income that's generated, that's $650, it's usually a 2 to 3 equity multiple on the $4,000 it costs you to install the solar in the first place.
Got it.
So again, like we tried to develop this in a way that would resonate with multifamily. Nobody's going to install solar if it's not accretive to project level returns. Solar is very accretive to multifamily in most states.
Got it. Are you part of any masterminds with multifamily investors and things of that nature, so you can show them how they can actually benefit from it?
I'm not, but that is a great idea.
If
you know of any good ones, let me know.
Oh, there's quite a few. Just gotta look up to the biggest educators, right? They got their own masterminds. Rodcliffe, what's this other guy named? He's out of Dallas. Brad Sumrock.
Yeah.
You have here in Houston, you have Robert Martinez. You have Steve, forget his last name, with Total Wealth. So they all have their own masterminds, and these all multifamily operators. So it'll be interesting to see, how they receive your technology, right? Because if they can make more money, they're gonna adopt it. That's just like you said, it's a numbers game, right? So, how many of these units have you guys been able to implement this technology on, or these, I guess, apartments, like not units?
Yeah, we've installed on about 1,500 apartment units. We're currently this year, so that was last year. We're currently doing about the same now, and then next year, we're, I think, fingers crossed, about to sign a contract for 4,000 units. So we're growing pretty quickly because, you probably know this better than I do, but it seems like, between rising expenses, both insurance and property taxes, sort of stagnating rent, at least for the time being, it's a lot harder to generate the IRRs that owners and operators need to attract LP dollars. So we're sort of a new opportunity that operators have to increase their project level IRR. So it's really exciting to see.
What can you give me an example on what, so you mentioned $4,000 is roughly the cost after the credit. So let's say a 200 apartment unit costs about $4,000 a door. So it's about $800,000 to get, I guess, how does the technology look like? Is it all big panels, or because I thought about it. I was like, man, how come nobody has invented a shingle that can get power from the sun, and then it kind of like serves as dual purpose, like
So no, I mean Tesla has that, but real quick. So in your example, right, 200 units, $4,000. That's 800 grand. 650 bucks a year in NOI per unit. So $130,000 in NOI. What's like a realistic cap rate right now?
it depends. I mean, it's very hard to say because it depends on whether the building is brand new or not. But
We'll say like middle of the road.
an average cap rate on on a multifamily type class. What class multifamily are you guys doing?
Usually A class and B class.
Multifamily property A class. Let's see B. Let's go for the B's. So it's like for 4.9 to 5.5.
All right, so let's say like 5.25.
Yeah.
So your $800,000 system generates $2.4 million in value. So 3x on equity.
So
That's pretty
3x.
good.
Yeah. The one thing is now you have to probably do the $6,000 upfront investment, right? And then you get the $2,000. But yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense for as a capex for one of these. It will make sense, of course. The value is there. It's just that how long. Usually, how long do you depreciate these equipments to?
Bonus depreciation, 100% year one.
Okay. Um, and is there financing in place for this, or is an all cash type?
No, yeah. So we've just secured a really exciting financing partner that we're excited about. The way that they operate is they come in as preferred equity just for solar. So they'll come into your capital stack as pref equity for solar, and usually their target return is far below sort of the project level return, so that the project can arbitrage their required returns against the returns of the solar project.
Okay. Now let's go back to the single family. Have you been able to deploy this technology on your single family homes, the ones that you flipped in the past, or?
Yeah, I've always put solar on every home I've owned. We have talked to some like build to rent single family operators because it's the same challenge, right? You have a 200 unit single family development. That's 200 solar systems that you have to monitor. That's 200 tenants that you have to bill. So it solves the same problem. We're pretty plugged into the multifamily space. We're not as plugged into like this single family rental market. So we haven't done any projects in that space yet.
Okay, I understand. And where do you see the solar technology moving forward? Like, I think it's the future. I mean, the sun it's in front of us 14 hours a day roughly, right? In areas like the United States. And I question sometimes how come we don't use more of it, right?
Yeah. I
Um
think, unfortunately the technology has been politicized, which is just, it is what it is. I think fortunately for me and other people in the industry, the big beautiful bill, which tried to basically kneecap the renewable energy by taking away the tax credits, also took away 90% of new electric supply in the US. And so, you don't have to be a master in economics to understand that if you have massive demand increases from like AI data centers and you have supply decreases from the big beautiful bill, the only place for electricity prices is up. And so I think we're going to see skyrocketing electricity prices across the US for the next few years. And that helps justify the upfront CapEx of solar. So I think solar's in a really good spot.
okay. What else can you tell us about solar? Or about your company, for instance, like what are you guys all involved with?
Yeah, I mean, we do installations nationwide. We do operations and maintenance, so that's a big question that we get a lot is sounds good, but who's going to take care of it in 3 years when, something goes wrong? We will. It's surprising to see how well it works in most states. Like, it works better in states with higher costs of electricity, but as a whole, it works in most of the US. Um, there's a really interesting angle you can take for LIHTC properties, so low income housing tax credit properties. When they're up
Right.
against maximum allowable rent, you can use solar to decrease utility allowances, which means owners can increase rent in a rent restricted environment, which is huge. So there's just so much that we need to kind of educate the multifamily industry on, but operators should be trying to figure out how to plug solar into their due diligence process, I guess, is our biggest piece of advice.
Got it. Have you started a YouTube channel or something like that? Doing
We
something else?
do. No, I mean, it's a good idea. It's actually a really timely idea. So we're on this big education push, and part of the things that we want to do is go over underwriting that we do on a weekly basis, right? 200 unit property in Florida, 300 unit property unit in Texas, and just get the numbers out there, because again, real estate is such a numbers driven industry. So I think that maybe YouTube is a really good idea, a good way, like a good platform for that.
To me, it's the best, man. Every time something breaks in my house, or I'm wondering about whatever, I go to YouTube. That's my university, right? Like,
Yeah, no, that's a really good idea.
somebody's gonna have an answer to a challenge I may be facing at the time. Or like, for instance, if I really want to learn more about solar, I'm gonna go to YouTube and find out everything there is about solar that I want to know about. And I don't know that I haven't really looked into it. We actually, in our agency, we build YouTube channels for real estate investors.
Oh,
And
maybe we
yeah,
should talk.
absolutely, yeah. So we can
Yeah.
do that offline. But that's why I asked you, it's like, are you on YouTube? Because what, in my experience, when I started doing a podcast, somewhere around 2016, and it was to educate people, because we had people coming to our warehouse asking for us, not even knowing our faces, what our faces look like, because I was the one opening the door, and I'm like, how can I help you? Is Ricardo here? uh who are you? Like, what are you looking for? And they're like, well, I've been told you've been flipping houses, and I want to learn more about how to do that. And I was like, okay. So after about the third time that happened, my business partner told me, dude, you got to quit receiving people, because they're taking 3 hours of our lives.
Yeah.
And now we got more work. And so long story short, he suggested we started a YouTube channel and a podcast. And I knew nothing about either or. Like,
Yeah.
the only thing I knew about YouTube about was because I would play concerts and things like that, but nothing, YouTube wasn't what it is today. And podcasts, no way. Like, what is a podcast? Like, and but his idea was like, every time somebody comes and knocking on our door, send them to the channel. And then if they watch enough of our videos later on, then you can say, okay, come to the office. But now they're more educated. So we started doing that. And what I found out almost 10 years later is that people will actually watch your videos over and over and over and over again before they reach out to you. And once they do, they're ready. They're
Yeah.
ready to
Yeah.
do whatever it is that you got, right?
Because it
So,
seems like you know them. You listen to a couple podcasts with somebody, and it's like
of
you just
course,
listen to 4 hours of somebody talking. Like I've been there. Like, I've
yeah,
been ready to call someone up for the first time and buy what they're offering because I already felt like I knew the person.
exactly. So
Yeah.
my suggestion to you, man, and I bet that space is completely wide open, especially on
Oh,
the
wide open.
multifamily solar systems. Like, you could literally own
Could
it.
be the only one.
Yeah, for now, because there's always let me see, multi-family solar systems. And
I just need an agency to help me launch my YouTube
yeah,
strategy.
we can do that. You see, nobody, the one guy, solar for commercial and multifamily, and I bet he's nowhere close to what you guys are doing, because you, because of your background and your numbers. Just in this short conversation, I'm able to understand that you understand all those numbers back and forth,
Yeah.
and you can present an offer to a multifamily operator that makes sense. And
Yeah.
and it's up to them whether they embrace the technology or not. at the time that they're buying the units, or maybe when they're gonna do a big investment on CapEx for renovations or things of that nature, or they're refinancing at that time, and now they can add on your technology. So yeah, sure enough, nobody owns that space, so that would be my
Not
suggestion
yet.
to you.
Yeah, not
Not
yet.
yet.
Our little secret.
Hey, you know what? And you know, it takes a lot to do a YouTube channel, man. It's number one, you gotta find the time to hit record, and find the topics that you want to talk about. And number two, the videos gotta be edited a certain way. The pictures, the graphics, all of those things, everything has to take place in a certain way. The SEO on the video, so you can show up in front of the right people.
Yeah.
So there's more to it now that I know, now that we produce channels for not only for me but for other people. And what I love about it is the organic growth that you will have. You don't have to have 100,000 subscribers. You only need 100 that are real subscribers, and now you know what I mean. Like you're in, because you're targeting the right people. So so maybe you get your YouTube channel started pretty soon. I actually like that painting you got right behind you. So can you tell me about it? It's pretty cool.
It's Banksy?
No.
You heard of Banksy? Banksy is this, I think he's an English artist, but he's a mystery, right? Nobody knows who he is. So he does street art across the world, and people wake up one day and there will just be like a Banksy on the side of a building.
Wow.
And they're worth millions of dollars. And so people will like tear down the wall that the Banksy's on and sell it. But I just like it because, it kind of sums up my professional journey as an entrepreneur. I've made a living of like digging deep and asking why, and like pulling the curtain back and seeing what's behind it. And I just feel like that's a skill set that you can't teach. It's either how you are or it's not. And if it's how you are, it's not necessarily all good, because asking why is not always a good thing. But if you combine it with like, certain sets of knowledge and entrepreneurship, it can be really powerful.
Yeah, I love art. Like, let me see if I can pull back the camera a little bit. But I got that's a Gino, and that the other one is an EG, and I got more. Like, and I got a bunch. And I sold I had a bigger house, and I don't have enough walls for all the art we got now, and so it's all in a air conditioned storage. We got a lot of it. But
you should check out Banksy. You'd like him. He's a really just super cool street artist.
No, and that's contemporary. I love contemporary art. It's beautiful. Now, who should get in contact with you, Owen? Like who can you help immediately if somebody was going to contact you, in the next few weeks?
So the best time to plan for solar is at acquisition, because that's when you're developing your CapEx budget, right? It's just hard to do post-acquisition. It's harder to do post-acquisition. So I think anybody that is actively acquiring 100 plus units, garden style works the best, because you have the most roof space relative to the number of apartment units. Should just reach out. We just built this really cool AI tool, so we can do high level analyses like in 5 seconds. So transactions move quickly, which is something that a lot of outside vendors don't understand. The second you get awarded a deal, it's like, it's go time. We got 30 days before our DD money goes hard. So we wanted to build a plan that could plug in to operators' sort of processes as they start getting projects awarded to them or under contract. And so we pride ourselves in how quickly we can turn around numbers and kind of escalate the conversation if it's something that owners and operators want to move forward with.
What about commercial buildings?
So we're just another solar contractor. We're happy to do it, but unfortunately, the commercial solar world is kind of a race to the bottom. And so it's like whoever can give the cheapest quote generally gets the job. And that just creates a lot of downstream effects in terms of maintenance and operations. So we stay in our lane. Like we know multifamily inside and out. And so we really only do multifamily installations.
Good, man. How can people get a hold of you?
Owen@getshine.com is the email address. I'm pretty active on LinkedIn, just trying to sort of be the voice of solar for multifamily on there.
All right.
So I think Owen Madsen Barrett on LinkedIn, and our website is getshine.com. We've got a contact form. But yeah, happy to just connect with owners and operators and help them explore solar.
Getshine.com. I love it. Owen, thank you so much for being here today, brother. This is the first time I interview somebody with your skill set. It's That's why I kept on going back and forth in between multifamily and single family, which is kind of like our norm in the real estate world, right? But
Yeah.
I love solar technology. I believe we should embrace more of it. Even my watch now, I bought this watch and it's all solar
I
powered.
got
And
that one too. Is it a
this is
is
like
it a Garmin?
no, this is like a military. No, I was gonna get a Garmin, and somehow I said, you know what, man, I'm gonna go on Amazon and look on some cheap ones. That
Yeah.
I'm a watch guy, by the way. So I do have some pretty
You got
pretty
some
good
nice
look.
ones.
I got some nice ones, but they're not electronic watches or anything along those lines. And I found this military watch that has a lot of good reviews, and it was like $60, and I was like, let me try that. And let me tell you something, man. I'm in love with this thing. I was like,
Really?
yeah, everything. I don't know. I'm not a Garmin, or I never had one, but
Yeah.
the other one I had was a Fitbit, and these things on, because I'm using it
Yeah.
more for tracking exercises and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, but um, but yeah, so this one is solar powered, and I've been looking at these cars that are coming out solars, like Teslas and even Ford and Kias, and
Yeah.
I'm from Venezuela, and my call center is actually in Venezuela, and over there we have issues with gas,
Yeah.
and that's a country that should be on electric power already, and for vehicles, and it eliminates the use of gasoline. So yeah, I believe that technology is gonna continue to evolve and help change the world, and maybe eventually we'll be running everything off solar. So
I think
um,
so, man. I mean, I think, part of the problem that gets the sustainability industry in trouble is expecting the switch to happen instantaneously, right? Like all solar, no fossil fuels. But I think the more realistic approach is just over time, it's gradually going to happen. Like if you're a 2-car family and somebody in your family drives an EV, you will not go back. They're just better cars. And yeah, they have range problems, and I get that, but like it just works better. So I'm excited too, man. I feel like we're at the beginning of a long-term transition, and there's so many other benefits to this technology besides just the environmental one. Like driving an electric car is just a better experience.
it is. They're fast. They
They're
have a lot
so
of torque.
fast. There's no maintenance. You never have to go to the gas station. Like I never thought that not going to the gas station would be such a big perk in my life, but it's huge.
Yeah, and as long as and there are places where you can charge them. I don't have one yet, but my brother bought a Tesla last year, and my old business partner Dennis, he's got I think it's a Mustang.
Yeah, yeah. Afford
It's a
that's a cool
Ford,
one.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he got it, and they're not that expensive either. Like
No.
I don't know what he paid for it. I don't remember. He told me, but he got me on it, and it was very fast. I was quite impressed on how fast that thing was. I was like, man, this
Yeah.
has got a lot of torque. So
Yeah.
Formula One. I love Formula One racing, and they're headed towards that direction. Like
Yeah.
somewhere
That'll be
down the 30s, they're gonna be all electric. So
yeah, it'll be cool to
um,
see.
will be very cool to see. I would just hope that the technology evolves faster to where it makes sense to put a roof all solar. Like you said, Tesla
Yeah.
has
Shingles.
those shingles, right? But how much are I have no idea
They're
what it
real
costs.
expensive.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah, they're real expensive. But yeah, I mean, the technology is changing so quickly. It's like, 5-10 years from now, it's going to be totally different.
good. Well, brother, thank you so much for being here today and bringing something new to the podcast. Guys, don't forget to hit share, like, and subscribe. Owen Barrett, find him, getshine.com, and his email is owen at getshine.com. If you need to look case studies, they got them on the website. You can calculate. You have calculators and things of that nature on the website as well, so you can play
Yep.
with. If you're a multifamily operator and you are considering buying a multifamily in the next few months, get with Owen to see if they can help you. So, with that being said, Owen, is there something else you want to tell the audience?
No, thanks for having me on. It was great.
No, my pleasure. You guys have a great day, and we will see you